All right, so you have created your lesson plan and you've planned out your activities, but now it's time to create some resources. Now, some of your activities might dictate what resources you need. So I know that I need some animal photos. I want to do a role play in this lesson, so I know I need to make some kind of role play card. And in my extensions, I have a few different activities that require vocab slips. And so because I want to do some of these activities, it's obvious that I need to create resources in order to do those activities. But one of the ideas behind using resources is not just to be able to do the activities, but it's to make this entire lesson come alive. I don't simply want my students sitting in their chairs during this lesson. I want them out of their seats, and I want to bring things into my classroom that add excitement, that pique my students' interest, that are contextualized to their culture. These sorts of things will make your lesson come alive. It'll take that stale, old course book and it will make it something much more interesting for your students. And so there are plenty of teaching techniques that make your lesson come alive, but one of the big ways we do that is the resources that we use. And so we've tried to provide a few different templates that you can use here to create resources that will make your lesson come alive. So that's one of the big goals of lesson planning and the resources that you gather or that you create from scratch for your lesson plan. Now, if you're submitting this lesson plan as part of your portfolio for your TESOL certificate course, then we really want to see at least 3 unique resources for every lesson plan that you turn in. And one of those resources can be a course book or whatever curriculum you might be using. But the other 2 resources should really include things that you can use to teach that curriculum, such as realia, visual aids, vocabulary slips, a worksheet that you made or that you found, a YouTube video, and so on. And so I'm going to walk you through this resources section of our lesson plan and give you several different types of resources that you can use to meet that requirement for your portfolio. So you can turn in at least 3 different unique resources for every lesson plan. But these different types of resources that I'm going to explain to you, you can actually use these for just about any type of lesson, about any type of topic. So let's dive in. I'm going to walk through each of these different types of resources one at a time. And I encourage you just to follow along and to start creating these same kinds of resources for whatever lesson you're working on. I'm going to cover 7 different types. Really, you want to be able to hit at least 3 of these different types of resources for your lesson, but the more the merrier. So let's begin. Now here on the first page of the resources section, we've given a few different instructions, little reminders, little tips in case you forget how to do some of these basic functions in this Google Slides version of the lesson plan. Things such as how to duplicate a slide, how to add a blank slide, how to add images, how to add videos, etc. So in case you forget how to do that, you can check it here. But basically, anytime I want to add a blank new slide, I simply click on the thumbnail image where I want to add my new slide, and I click slide from the menu, new slide, and there I have a fresh, clean, new space to do whatever I want. However, I find it's actually a lot of times it's much easier to duplicate a slide, duplicate one of these templates that is similar to what I need. So rather than add a fresh new slide, perhaps we want to duplicate one of these templates. So I'm going to select the template that I want to duplicate. And then on a PC, I'll select Control D or on a Mac, I will choose Command D, and I'm going to do that several times in order to duplicate that template. And now I have several of these templates that I can begin modifying. So if you forget how to do some of those simple functions, you can go back to this first page of the resources section and find those tips here. And of course, if you're doing this on your mobile device and you're using the Google Slides app, then it might not match exactly how we just did that here. But everything I'm going to show you in this video, there's usually a similar way of doing it on the app.